Hi everybody, and happy Easter, quarantine Easter. And we got a thunderstorm going outside, so if you hear a little rumbling outside, that's what's going on. But I thought it might be fun to do a little private thing with you guys here on Patreon with my top 10 or 11 guitars that I use, either with my work with Michael McDonald in touring and recording, and also here at home recording. I've got a good collection of guitars, but I seem to favor certain ones. So I thought I'd give you a peek into those and give you a little preview of each one. Starting here, this is an acoustic guitar, a Gibson J45 that I got about, oh gosh, maybe 10, 12 years ago I've had this maybe. It's hard to keep track. Really great guitar. I use it, I don't use this normally in Mike's normal show, but I do use it when we do our Christmas tour, because we do several acoustic numbers, and this guitar just covers a lot. I've modified it with a LR Baggs pickup. Our bass player, Jacob Lowry, suggested it to me because he'd seen Tom Petty put them in his guitars, and lo and behold, they do sound really good. Probably the most natural sounding when you're amplifying an acoustic. But I like this guitar a lot because it's just so great acoustically, you know, by itself. It's that classic, you know, sort of Gibson, sort of not real bright, kind of deadened sound, you know, like a... that kind of thing, you know, and then you can stick a cable on it and get a totally different characteristic. Kind of deal. Anyway, that's my J45, which I treasure this thing. Moving on, I'm going to be turning around grabbing guitars here, so pardon me. Next up, let's move this guy out of the way because he's in the way. We'll get to that one later. This is my most recent acquisition that I've got from Duesenberg. They're a company out of Germany. And here's my cord. Let's plug it in. This is called a Duesenberg Star Player TV model. Really, really nice guitar. Gold top, it's semi-hollow body. There's a, what do you call it, a wood block down the center of the inside of the guitar. So it's not a total hollow body, but it is semi-hollow body. So it's kind of a cross between a Les Paul and a 335 maybe. But it's give it a little edge here. And it's got, that's the treble pickup, and then the what do you call it? The neck pickup is a single coil. They've also got a great, their own vibrato bar design, modeled slightly after a Bigsby, the most popular, but this guy is just really smartly designed, really easy to string up with, because Bigsby's can be a pain when you're changing your strings, but it's, you know. Really nice, I love this guitar. I used it last year on our tour with Chaka Khan. Very nice guitar. Thank you, Duesenberg. And let's see, next. This next guitar, probably, I've been using this for the last 10 years. I actually went into a Guitar Center one day. I mean, I usually get my guitars through Gibson directly. either as an endorsee or whatever, or artist price. But I went into a Guitar Center one day and found this guitar on the wall, and just, it's brand new. I really haven't done anything to it at all, modifying wise, but it's a Gibson SG. I guess you call this a standard? Not sure. But I didn't tune this one up. Let's tune this one real quick. Okay. Now, this is the one you see me use with Michael a lot for the last 10 years. Quite honestly, I've always liked SGs, and as I get older, for the back, they're really light. And they still scream. I get a lot of compliments on the sound of this guitar. Anyway, this is a circa 2010, 2009, somewhere around there, probably 2010 or 2011, the more I think about it. Right off the wall, Guitar Center. Really, really nice guitar. I love this guitar. Maybe my number one touring guitar. Next, I got this back in 2005 here from the Nashville plant, Gibson plant. Oh, hey, just got to nick him out one. This is about a 2005 Les Paul. Really nice guitar. These are, what do they call it? What do they call it when they hollow out the partially and routed? I can't remember what they call it. Sorry. But it's not as heavy as a traditional Les Paul. Les Pauls are traditionally very, very heavy guitars, and I've always stayed away from for that reason. They sound great if you're sitting down, that solid piece of wood or whatever, the two pieces of wood they put together. But I like these a lot better because they're significantly lighter than a regular Les Paul, but they still sound great. Okay, so that's basically your Sunburst 2005. Really great guitar. I use this a lot on about the 2013, maybe 2005 to 2013. I used it a lot with Michael. Love this guitar. And then this guy, I got this probably around the same time I got the Les Paul. I've got this from Gibson. Give a shout out to my friend Pete Lionheiser, who's a great friend of mine for years, and also the artist rep with Gibson. Just treats his people so well. The nicest guy. This is a Gibson 335. Again, circa about 2006, maybe. This is definitely one of my top favorite guitars. This thing just is. Beautiful guitar. I love this guy. So, 335 Gibson. Next, this next guitar is, I'm humbled to say, it was custom built for me by a gentleman named Bobby Clark, who has a guitar company called Dr. Mojo. And I went to the NAMM show here in Nashville, I think around 2015, I think it was. And he had a booth. I'd heard a little bit about them through a friend of mine, guitar player with Dylan McDonald's band, Daniel DeMonico, and he had a couple of these guitars, a Strat, and I think maybe a Tele. Anyway, I went into the booth and sat down and played a couple of Bobby's guitars, and I was knocked out. Loved it. And he said, you know, if you want me to make you one, we can work something out. So he gave me his phone number. We talked on the phone, and we were going to be doing a Christmas tour, Michael and with Michael. And I wanted a Tele, and so he asked me what color I wanted, and he put this guitar together for me. It's even got the probably can't see that, but it's even got BC 001, which means it's the only guitar made of this style or this model, and it's mine. That's a great guitar. Let me get a clean sound here. Classic Tele sound. You can go over here on the bass pickup and hit this button, and it makes it single coil. Great blues sound. Let's see if I can get this guy back on. Come on. Of course, you can get that. Really great guitar. I used this a lot over the years with since 2015 with Mike. Great recording guitar. Dr. Mojo. Look them up. Google them. Beautiful guitars. Okay, next. Let's see. Where am I? Oh, here I am. Okay, next I'm going to go into another one of my favorite guitars. This is an Epiphone Casino. Story behind this guitar, it's a 1967. I haven't had it that long. I got this in 1994. It was just after I was living in Los Angeles in Chatsworth, California, and there was an earthquake that year, the Northridge earthquake, very infamous earthquake. We lived through that, and it was scary as hell, let me tell you. Anyway, we had some damage to our house, and we got some insurance money, and I had a couple of my guitars were kind of damaged, so I got a little insurance money, so I kind of splurged and went to, I can't remember what the guitar store was, on Ventura Boulevard. I don't remember. It was near Guitar Center, but it was like a used guitar shop, and anybody that knows me knows how much I idolize the Beatles. And the Beatles, all three guitarists, John, Paul, and George, all had Epiphone Casinos. And this one is 1967, in really, really great shape. I mean, even the finish on this is barely cracking at all. You can, I mean, there's some wear on the back. You can see it's cracking. I don't know if you can see in these with this iPhone camera, but everything's on is original on here. I haven't changed anything. I might have changed the tuning pegs because they were a little flaky, and that's about it. Turn it on. I'm not sure they used that guitar for that song, but great guitar. It's got the original Epiphone tremolo system. I have a bar for it, but it's missing one part, but I don't really use the tremolo that much. But really, really great guitar. I love this guitar. I've had it for quite a while. Like I said, 1994 I picked this up, so I've had it for 25 years or something like that. And I treasure it. And in tandem with that guitar, I bought a few years back a second Epiphone Casino. Sorry, trying to do this without whacking guitars. This is a newer Casino. They made this line called the Elitist line Epiphone, and excuse me. But this is pretty much like John Lennon's original Epiphone. Sunburst. It's a really high quality guitar. If I go out on the road with the casino, I usually leave the older one home. Take this one out, but that vibe. Really great guitars, and I always just love the way they look. They're beautiful. All right, so that's my casinos. What do we got next? Okay, here we go. This guy down. This next one is a Fender Stratocaster that I picked up in 1993, the year my son was born. I've modified it a bit. I put a new pickup system in it, Seymour Duncan's. And this is a recent upgrade. It's a Sophia bridge system. My friend Ed Simeone set me up with that. But I've had this guitar, like I said, since 1993. I played it with Mike a lot. If you go to my website or Google Higher Ground, Michael McDonald, we did a live TV show on Jay Leno. It was actually New Year's Eve of 1993, and we did Higher Ground on that show. And that was the last show we did with Chuck Sabatino. God bless him. But anyway, I played this guitar, and it's a really, really ripping version of Higher Ground. You do yourself a favor and look it up. The band was stellar, and I had a good night that night. I think I played pretty good considering we were in front of live TV on New Year's Eve. But great guitar. Like I said, a Fender Strat, American made. Not much else to say, Stratocasters, but I used this with on the Doobie Brothers tour that I did with Mike in 1995 as well. Used that in a Gibson Nighthawk, which I no longer own. It was damaged in a move. Movers broke the neck off. I had it repaired, and it broke once more after that, so I finally repaired it and sold it as is. But anyway, I've had this since 1993. Great guitar. Let's see. We're getting down to the last couple here. This guitar here, I just picked up, I think maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. This is a Gretsch Electromatic. It's got a number. It's a G5422G12. But basically they're Electromatic series. We used this on the Christmas tour. We did this. We did that song with it and a couple others, but just beautiful sound. Guitar for recording, for accentuating guitar parts and just giving that this kind of vibe. Love this guy. So that's my Gretsch 12. Okay, I'm going to finish up this one. Maybe we'll do a part 2 because I've got a few more I could show you. But let's see. Put this guy down. Killing it. This next guitar. This one's kind of cool. It's fun. I don't use it much, but might have been the first year or two I was with Mike, probably 1990 or 91. we did a tour of the UK, and you know, for me, going to the UK was a thrill because of the Beatles, of course. But it's a beautiful place. Anyway, we were in London, and we got an off gig. They wanted us to play a TV show, and I can't remember what the show was, but you know, we were touring theaters over there. But then we did a TV show, and we went and did it. And I think we lip synced. We didn't even play live, but they gave us they paid us all right on the spot. And I remember, I think we got 300 pounds or something like that. You know, so I had a bunch of English currency in my pocket, extra money. So we went to Soho in London, and I just kind of went around and I found this guitar in a shop. It's a 1959 club. Yeah, they call them clubs. Club something. I should know this better than this, but the cool part about it is John Lennon and George Harrison both had one of these. If you look up old pictures of them, even before they were doing the Cavern, they weren't using these. They were using these like when they did like Pete Best's Mom's House and playing the Casbah and, you know, doing the funky gigs they did. These are probably really inexpensive guitars. The thing, it's like a feather. It's so light. You can hear it. But it's in good shape, you know. And I was just thrilled to find one. So it basically hangs on my wall, and I just kind of love to look at it. I don't use it that much. I mean, it sounds okay. Anyway, that's my club. I can't remember what they call it. Club 50. There it is. This is a Hofner Club 50, 1959. Treasure this guitar. Okay, one more guitar I'm going to show that I use a lot, and I don't use this live with Mike, although I have used it with Mike live. We did a few gigs where it was just the two of us, maybe with a percussion player, and I played guitar, and then a couple songs I played bass, and I used this guitar. This is a Hofner 500-1 or /1. It's called the CT series. It's not the top of the line Hofner basses. It's a little more, a little bit lower line, but still a really, really great guitar, and I use it. McCartney fan, and you know, he revolutionized bass playing for modern music ever since he came on the scene. Before then, bass was more of a supporting instrument in the sense where it was very simple, not a lot of melody. Paul changed that, made bass more of a melodic, and just the sound of it, and production-wise and inventive-wise, changed it forever. So I've always been sort of a closet bass player. I play bass on all my own recordings, with the exception of now and then I'll bring in friends like Jacob Lowry, who's amazing, Lannis Morrison, and I know I'm forgetting somebody else, but normally I love to play bass on my own stuff. It's just, so I treasure this guitar as well. Use it a lot. It's on most of my records. I use a jazz bass too, and even a Jack Cassidy Epiphone bass, but mostly this. But maybe we'll cover those guitars on another session. Maybe I'll do another one of these, because I've got a few more I could show you. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you're staying safe in these quarantine days. Hopefully this is going to be behind us before too long. In the meantime, let's all stay safe and smart, and love one another and keep the peace. Love you all. Happy Easter. Bye-bye. Thank you.